Hi guys, welcome back to Hoarder's Heart. On this episode, it is part 2 of the Q&A Ask a Hoarder. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me out. I'm a hoarder and a recovering one at that. And I normally show you the messes and I tell you my mental struggles. And we clean out the hoarded rooms in small sections at a time so I can make good decisions to let things go and make decluttering a positive experience. So guys, this is part 2, the continuation of last week in my Q&A. Many of you have left so many questions for me and I was just so happy to be like, wow, this is awesome, because the whole point of me creating this channel is to humanize hoarding disorder, right? I really want people to understand the true mentality behind the stuff, because when people are understood, they start to feel accepted. And people who feel accepted start to find help to heal. And when you're also understanding the disorder, maybe you have a loved one that has that, and you could start to find compassion and people can start to heal their relationship. So it's very important to open up the conversations, to answer the questions, to truly understand what is going on behind the hoarder mentality. And I'm just excited that these are going to be answering questions 8 through 15. So I'm really excited to dive in and answer your questions. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Question number 8 is, as a hoarder, what are your thoughts when you see another hoarder's hoard? They seem to be blind to the messes, keeping up with Kelsey. Well, when I see another hoarder's hoard, honestly, you know what I see? I don't see a mess either. I mean, I do, don't get me wrong, I do, but you know what I really see? I see their entire life story in front of me. I see their creativity and I see their passions and I see what they like and I see their thoughts and I see their emotions and I also see their battles. I see their internal battles. I see, their depression, their anxiety, their lack mentality. I see every emotion about that person. A hoard and a hoarded house is basically the physical manifestation of every thought that we had. So that's why when I say I see their life story is because I can see every thought that they had, right? I don't see that there's a fire hazard. I don't see that there's like a goat trail. I don't see that that room's not functional. I see the physical expression of their soul. And it's just not organized and it's just out for everyone to see. Like, that's what I see when I see another person's hoard. And with that said, I also know the low energy emotion attached to it. And I want to help them start to let that go. Because even though, yes, it is every physical emotion that you had, there's a lot of negative emotions too. And I want to kind of give them the freedom and the bravery and the strength to be like, we don't have to hold on to it. We can still let this go. We can still detach our souls from this stuff because this stuff does not define who we are, right? Us as a person, the way we express ourselves, our smiles, our laughs, our conversations, that's how we express ourselves. Question 9. My husband is a hoarder, and every time I mention anything about purging, he has a fit. Give me some suggestions on how to approach this very sensitive topic with him. From Savvy Serena. Ooh, this one is a big question, right? And it's kind of a big foundational reason why I started this channel was because I wanted everyone to understand hoarding disorders so that families, relationship, husband, wives can find healing in it. So when you are a non-hoarder to approach someone with hoarding, I would I would approach it in a different way to be like, hey, you know what? You can use a video like this. Hey, you know, I found this girl who's explaining her hoarding disorder, and I'm really starting to understand how you feel now. And if you ever want to talk about it, you know, I'm really open because now I can start to really understand it. I would kind of maybe start with that kind of an avenue to open up the conversation, because let me tell you my mindset, right? Before I started this channel and my husband trying to approach me, when he had said these things like, hey, let's clean this out. Come on, we can do this. Come on. I automatically went to the defense. And I went to the defense because it was like, yeah, I want to do this, but I can't. I can't do it because something's holding me back, and I don't feel good about it, and it keeps defeating me, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm scared, and I'm anxious, and I'm depressed, and I don't know how to relay these emotions to you because I feel silly admitting that I am attached to this pen, and I feel really dumb that I'm, you know, attached to this sweater from 1995, and I am feeling all these emotions, and I'm going to have a panic attack, and I'm going to freak out, and I don't know how to explain it to you. So I get defensive because I don't want to deal with it. And I'm trying to maintain my mental sanity for this moment. So as I'm figuring this out myself, the best place to start is with compassion and understanding and acceptance, to be like, wow, okay, I'm really starting to understand your feelings and your emotions. And when you're ready, because the person does have to be ready. And you'll know when they're ready when you start to hear things like, gosh, I wish this room was clean, or gosh, I wish I didn't have so much stuff. When you start to hear these kind of like phrases and sentences, you know that this person, it's a cry for help. It's a cry for help that I'm surrendering, I need help, I want to change, and I don't know how to change. Question number 10, how was your hoarding during college, Miss Hart? And when you got married, and so on. And oh God, I really hope I'm saying this right. Rishka Pandy. Oh, I like the pandy part. No. So how was my hoarding in college? So in college, all my hoarded stuff from like my childhood and teenage years kind of stayed at home. I only bought a few things to, you know, the new apartment or the campus. And I felt like in college was definitely a place where I was accepted, I was free, and I had a lot of friends, and there was no bullying, you know, and it was a time where I was really trying to find who I was. Who am I? Who's Miss Hart? What is she like? She has a lot to express. But also during that time was my shopaholic kind of phase where my impulse shopping was skyrocketing. You got to think of that time that was college, was the Hills, you know, and Confessions of a Shopaholic, and just, you know, Legally Blonde, and all this kind of era of like shopping and buying and figuring out who I am, and it's a way to express myself. And that's kind of where I was in college, right? I learned how to control the compulsive shopping in my later 20s because I had racked up a ton of debt, like $10,000 worth of credit card debt, because I thought a credit card was free money. It's not. I was able to pay that off in my late 20s. Question number 10. When do you think your hoarding was at its worst point? From Polly Dowell. Dowdle? Oh God, I'm so sorry I'm butchering your name. Mwah, mwah. Okay, so when was my hoarding at its worst point? My hoarding was at its worst when there was trauma in my life. That's when the accumulation started. That's when the gathering started. That's when I started building my fortress. I call it my fortress, right? I was building my security walls to protect me. So 3 times that it was probably at its worst was the bullying in middle school, the abusive boyfriend from 17 to 19, and I would say the next point that it was at its worst was when we were absolutely financially struggling when my eldest was born. So from 2008 to kind of like 2012, we were so financially poor and so strapped for money. Like it was literally God's gift and answered prayers that we were able to pay our mortgage and our needs every month. But that triggered my hoarding exponentially. I held on to everything. I mean, everything I held on to. And I wasn't shopping or spending money, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to have a hoard, because I was on the free cycle, right? And I was taking every hand-me-down somebody offered me. And at yard sales, you can buy a lot of stuff for $1. Sometimes they fill that bag for $1. You don't have to spend a lot of money to accumulate a lot of stuff. And that's kind of when my hoarding was bad. The last time where you see a lot of stuff in this house, you know, as I'm decluttering it now, because it was a way that I provided for my family. If I hoarded it away and I got it for free and I just squirreled it away, my husband didn't have to work extra hours to afford that future need, right? It was my way that I provided for the family. Question 12, how do you manage anxiety once you get it? From Ashlyn Potter. This also ties into Sonia Hubert, who asked if I'm in therapy or on any kind of medications. And the answer is that I'm not on any type of anxiety medications. I don't know. It's just for a personal reason, in the sense that maybe it's a stubbornness that I feel like within myself, I can heal myself. I can get past my anxiety. Would a Xanax be helpful? Sure. Sure it would. But it's just kind of my own personal path that I'm taking, is that I want to heal this on my own naturally. I'm not against medication at all. Am I seeing a therapist? Oh, I really should. I should. There's no reason why I shouldn't, you know. Things that had helped, that stopped me in the past is because my insurance doesn't cover it. And it was kind of like $120 out of pocket. And I was like, ugh, you know, and just the fact of time. These are excuses. I mean, honestly, let's face it, they're excuses. But I do have a best friend who is in that field. So when I really am, you know, lost in these emotions and looking for directions, I do call her and she steers me into the right direction. So yes, my best friend, I guess, is my therapist. And then back to the other question, what do I do now, right? Because now that I'm not hoarding and I'm letting everything go, I got to replace that coping mechanism, right? Because the anxiety still exists. So how am I going to calm it down now that I'm not hoarding anymore? Well, I've been really looking into healthier kind of, you know, ways to, you know, control that. And of course, like in the morning, I have to do what I'm passionate about, right? So it's kind of like prayer and meditation. That's huge. Prayer, meditation, breathing, journaling. I'm still expressing these feelings instead of keeping them locked up. You've all kind of heard these healthy ways to handle your anxiety, and it really does work. Maybe something you don't know, I love dancing. I can just turn up music and get lost and just dance and just be in utopia of just in my own world of dancing. I love walking. I can get lost in walking. Again, listening to my music, I just get lost and I feel just a sense of freedom and just, I don't know, I just feel really good, right? And of course, being with my family and giggling with my boys. Something that I love doing that uses my anxiety a lot is just me and my boys snuggling and we watch like Naruto Shippuden. Like, I love it. Like, it's just those moments. That's how I'm starting to transition those coping mechanisms to ease my anxiety into healthier choices. Question 13, have you had conversations with your kids about your hoarding and do they understand your struggle? That was from Laura Lee Frederick. Yes, I have had many conversations with my children, how I've even told them even in my childhood where, you know, my hoarding had started, and I want to start to let go of these things because the things are not who I am. And just being as transparent as I'm being with you guys, I feel like in a kid's version, I'm being transparent with them. especially with my oldest, because he has many similar kind of characteristics that I had at his age, which was I had a collection of everything. Everything was a collection. And I was fascinated by the, you know, whatever that collection was. Let's just say it's my stickers or my unicorns or my My Little Ponies or my Care Bears. And I almost identified this stuff as who I was, right? It was as how I identified myself. And I can see that in my oldest son. He has the Pokemon cards and the U2s and the Funko Pops and all this. And I'm trying to, you know, just have like a line to say that it's healthy to have a collection that's organized, but it's not healthy to have too much stuff. My youngest has no problem throwing stuff out. Just don't throw his favorite things out. But he has no problem. If he hasn't played with it, he's like, okay, give it to somebody else. He does not have that kind of an issue. Question 14, do you think how hoarders are portrayed in media, such as the show Hoarders, an accurate portrayal? Is it helpful or harmful? From Danny Lore. This is a big subject because I want to so badly do a Hoarders react videos to Hoarders Buried Alive and the A&E Hoarders with all my heart. I have to get permission. I don't know the legal way of doing that. I don't think that those channels are trying to make hoarders look bad, but I think the problem is it does make them look bad, right? I don't think the intention of those networks are to be like, I'm gonna make a hoarder look really bad in front of everybody. I think their intention is to just kind of bring light to it and show what's happening inside. But what happens in those shows is that I want to scream. I want to scream because the person who is the hoarder is on the defense and they don't look like they're cooperative and they don't look like, you know, they look like they're choosing their stuff over their family. And the problem is that they're literally about to have a mental breakdown because they have a camera in front of them showing the biggest thing that they've hidden from the world, right? That biggest thing that you hide from everyone is now exposed, and you have no way how to explain or put words to those emotions. So you get defensive, and now you got a camera in your face and people are ready to just throw all your stuff out in one shot. And that's the worst thing you can do to a hoarder, is just throw it all out at once, because they're going to hoard again and they're going to have a mental breakdown. And I see that in each and every one of those episodes. Those people aren't fighting you because they need to keep on to the stuff, right? They're not choosing the stuff over you. They're choosing to not have a full-blown mental crisis in front of your family, the world, production. They're trying desperately to keep it together, and they cannot make that decision to let it go. That's what they're doing. So I think in the long run, I think it was harmful to people with hoarding, because I know when I saw it, I was just like, I really can't say anything now. I really got to keep this bottled up. And you are seeing level 5 hoarders, okay? You're seeing the most extreme hoarders on there. And it makes it even that much more harder to try and like clean out their stuff. That's why I really would love to do, like, if I could get permission from A&E and stuff like that. It's not that I'm putting them down, because I think, again, their intention was to bring light to it so people could understand it. I just want to be the voice for the hoarder that's being kind of put on the spot in that episode. Question 15, the last question. And if you made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate that. Of all your many victories, is there one that really stands out as a personal best? Why? From Pamela Peterson. There's two. There's two victories that really stand out. The number one would probably be the playroom and the toys, because that has the highest stronghold of my emotions, and constantly going back and cleaning that out, and being able to get rid of stuff that I wasn't able to before. That is a huge victory. As far as like a room also that went was the laundry room. The laundry room was a full-fledged, almost level 5 like room, right? Because you couldn't get out the back door. Everything was piled up to the sides. There was a little goat trail that you see, just that little path to walk there. That was probably the biggest clean out, in the sense that it was so packed, and it just showed me that, you know, I am strong enough. I am strong enough. Even the one of the worst rooms, I can declutter, right? And I know probably once I'm finally done with it, the greatest accomplishment will be the basement. I'm hoping it'll be within this year. I hope so. I just keep chopping away of it. But when that's finally decluttered, I think that will probably be my greatest victory of all. So guys, I just want to say thank you. If you made it this far, man, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening to my heart so that we can understand hoarding disorder even a little better. And that's how we grow together, and that's how we heal together. So guys, I think I'm going to finally wrap up this video. And I just want to say, man, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.